day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Integer and today I present a video about Killing Floor 2, their developers Tripwire Interactive, and the way they've decided to treat this game, releasing it on early access on Steam. When you have a small dev team who began their works with modding the Unreal Tournament 2004 back in the day to create the very first Red Orchestra, and then moved on to release standalone Unreal Engine 2 and 3 games, who were loved and are still actively played by tons and tons of fans. Prime and pretty much the only examples being Red Orchestra 2 and Killing Floor. It comes to no surprise that PC gamers stopped and listened closely when Tripwire Interactive announced Killing Floor 2 around a year ago and launched beta for a week in mid-April. It was followed by early access release of Killing Floor 2 on Steam on the 21st of April. And that's when general public, myself included, got our hands on this game. And boy, if it's a good one. Now, let's quickly review what its early access status means. If you head to their official website or check their Steam store page, it has a very clear and well-defined description of the game's current status. Tripwire state that the core game is very close to full release date, meaning players should not encounter game-breaking bugs, crashes, or other discrepancies heavily reducing play value. What they have limited is perks, which is their equivalent of classes, to 4 out of 10, which will be featured in the full version. 3 maps for the time being, plus a limited amount of weapons. You also have 11 different types of Zeds coming at your throat, which frankly is not a different selection of Zeds from the first game as far as I can tell. However, I'm almost adamant they are going to add more in the future. In addition, early access full release pricing policy is a very relevant topic, and I'll quote Tripwire here from Steam's store page. Question: will the game be priced differently during and after early access? Answer of Tripwire: no, we're not going to mess about with the pricing. It is one price now and for release. The early access version will steadily expand until it is the full release version, and then you'll get all the usual free Tripwire content and events for the life of the game for free. And we'll produce other content for sale for the game, just as we did with the first Killing Floor, to help keep all that free stuff funded. End of quote. I now have around 9 or 10 hours of playtime of Killing Floor 2, and I think I have enough experience with the game to have certain reflections about their early access status. And frankly, I think it's perfect. To begin with, the game does run solid. 55 or above FPS, even with 6 other players and dozens of Zeds around, with beautiful real-time rendering lightning effects and all settings cranked up to the max. The only time I ran into any kind of issues was immediately after the release, when I had trouble connecting to the servers, getting messages like the server's full or connection timed out, etc. But that's pretty much every multiplayer-based game upon release, well, frankly ever, if it has at least a mild interest from the public. I'm very happy to see that now, roughly 16 or 20 hours after the release, I have had no issues connecting to the servers, connecting straight to my friend's game, or other ways joining the game. The content is limited, yes, and you will feel it pretty quickly. That's not saying it's bad. Every perk has 4 weapons. Not a great variation, you'd say, but they are beautiful, and each weapon in its own right. Handling is meaty, recoil is realistic and has a kick to it, bullets feel heavy and pack a punch, sounds are immersible, and boy if animations are top quality. In current state, there's only 3 maps available as mentioned, but they're all different enough, and frankly big enough as well, to have plenty and plenty of playing value. In the end, when you're down to the last wave on suicidal difficulty and have a few flesh pounds pounding on your back, you want to know your map to make the best escape and have the most efficient kite in order to survive. Finally, we come down to pricing. Wait, so you're telling me you'll keep adding content to the game, more perks, more weapons, more maps, more Z types, different game modes, and even upon full release you will not charge more for the game? Tripwire, I thank you. The way I see it, early access is a way for developers to get extra feedback, polish the current content, and get the game to the state where both the developers and the fans want it to be. From the player's perspective, one might argue that a person gets a chance to play the game early, even if it's not in the optimal state, and that's what he is essentially paying money for. However, I really liked what Tripwire did when they decided not to increase the price of the full game upon release. I see it as them making a statement. We will not charge you more for a fully finished product just because you did not want to make a financial commitment for a product that was not finished. Now listen to the statement once again. and tell me if you don't agree with it. This is potentially the fairest way of going about early access as I've ever seen. It's acknowledging the fact that some people enjoy helping the developers to shape the game, thus they buy it. Some people simply want to play the game early, as soon as possible, and are willing to make certain sacrifices in terms of lack of content, unfinished state of the game, potential bugs, crashes, etc. Thus they buy it. Developers release games in early access to get more financing to be able to polish and finish the game, plus all the feedback included. These are all very valid points. But not raising the price upon its release. This is being fair to the players who are not willing to buy unfinished games. To wrap it all up, I think I will be spending many more hours with Killing Floor 2 in its early access, as well as way beyond its full release. An argument could be made that it does not feel as a worthy upgrade for the original, but I think that is not true. Weapons are actually even more fun to shoot, melee is finally feeling worthwhile, Zeds have become even more terrifying, the whole atmosphere of the game has become grimmer, darker, and with what we've seen so far, I'm looking at the Biotic Slab map, we might just get some actual story this time around as to what caused this deadly outbreak of mutants in the first place. If you enjoy shooters, if you like splashing blood of mutants all over the walls, ceilings, floor, and yourself, the £20 price tag, or your regional equivalent, whether you buy it now or wait for a full release, is going to be a very not wasteful investment into what is exactly pure entertainment.